Hello again, this is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener. Well, here's one I get asked a lot. Should I use concrete or should I use pavers for my backyard project, my driveway, pathway, pool deck? Which is better? So I'm going to go through the pluses and minuses of both in this particular thing, starting with concrete. So concrete's going to come in at roughly $10 to $15 a square foot. Now that does not include the demolition of whatever else is there, just if you were pouring concrete. And the reason it's a big price range is that there are lots of different options for concrete. So you can do a simple concrete, just plain gray broom finish. That's going to be about $10. But then you start adding some color to it, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. So we're going to look at some of those different colors in this video and some different textures. For example, here's a driveway where we actually did a really kind of neat color. This is called Palomino. And it will end up being kind of a light tan color, really kind of a cool looking one once it all dries out. And there's an example of when it's all dried out. Now you can also do different kinds of finishes. This one had a top cast finish. Number 3, which adds a little grittiness to it, a little graininess, gives it some good texture, but also good slip resistance. This one's a simple broom finish, gray concrete, so it's going to be a little less expensive, especially when you're doing a really big patio. That's certainly something to keep in mind, but it still looks really nice, especially when you do kind of a nice band and nice expansion joint in it. So there's a link in the video description to the Davis color chart. There's actually about 20 different colors you can get concrete done in. They mix this in the truck and it gives you some really nice texture. Another way to spiff up a concrete patio is you do something like this where you do some tile trim on that. So, and here again is that color again, Davis Palomino. Again, a nice tan finish, top cast finish. Really can make it pop. But again, Palomino with a top cast, you're coming in at about $15 a square foot for standard 4-inch expansion joints. So again, concrete is in general more affordable than pavers if you just do the plain gray concrete, but you can add in different features that are going to make it almost as expensive as pavers. So now let's talk about pavers. So pavers are going to cost somewhere in that $14 to $20 a square foot per square foot. Again, not including demolition. The great thing about pavers, the reason I really love using pavers more often than concrete, is you get a wide range of these textures. And again, there's links in the video description on some of the different products that you can get with pavers and some of the wonderful paver companies here in Southern California. So this was a big paver job. Let me kind of walk you through how a paver patio is installed. So after we did the demolition, then it's time to put down the crushed road base. And this is a really important subcompact level, and you pound it in with a plate compactor. We get it really nice and hard. And this is just your simple class 2 road base. Then you're going to put on top of that leveling sand, and then you use these pipes to really get it level. And it's also important that when I say level with a slight pitch toward the drains, away from the house. So because this does establish the patio level all the way. And by the way, these are Angelus pavers. Again, links in the comment section. And this is just a wonderful kind of gray color with lots of different textures. The neat thing about pavers is once you've established the pattern for the main field, it actually goes pretty quick. As you see here, once they've started, and this was you can actually get pavers in a couple of different patterns as well. This was a random herringbone pattern, which really turned out beautifully. Once you've laid the field, then it's time for the trickier part, which is the soldier course around the side. So that course actually gets set in concrete, and that's what locks all these rest of these pavers in. Because you saw they were just locking those pavers in the field course and just setting them into the leveling sand. But in order to lock all those pavers in, you have to do 2 things. The first thing is the soldier course that goes in the perimeter. Now, this particular job, we did it in a different color, and that turned out really great. The second thing you do to lock in all those pavers is the polymeric sand. Now, this sand is important because it does lock the pavers in, but it is still permeable. Water will still drain through this, but it really creates this nice thing. And the same thing, you pound it all in with that same plate compactor to really get that sand driving it in there so that you don't have any cracks. And there's a nice example of it. Once it's actually pounded in there, then you want to make sure to use an air blower to blow it off, not a hose. The second you get that polymeric sand wet, you can't move it. It's locked everything in. So you broom it off and then you blow it off and get it nice and clean. And once you've cleaned all the sand off of every single paver, that's when you lightly wet it down, because that's what's going to lock all those pavers in place. You put a little light watering on there, and the end result is just really great. And again, the great thing about pavers is not only do you get this great texture with all these different sizes, because usually pavers come in 3 or 4 different sizes, but you can also mix those colors. The last thing you want to do with pavers is seal it. Standard masonry sealer will work great. By the way, sealers come in both semi-gloss and gloss. You can get like a really shiny thing, but it's important because the sealer will seal the pavers so that if you should spill wine on it, it's not going to stain the pavers. It is a masonry product. Pavers are made from concrete. They're just poured in all these forms. But here's some more examples of all the different colors that pavers come in. So the advantage of pavers over concrete: more textures, more colors. The disadvantage is it's going to be about $4 on average more expensive than concrete. Well, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get more of my garden videos. And again, there's links in the video description on all these products as well. Well, that's all the time we have for today. This is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, saying thanks for watching.